timeless voices of the Eternal Church.
Elizabeth Hooton, Jamaica, January 8, 1672. George Fox, founder of the Society of Friends that later came to be known as the Quakers, had no qualms when it came to the equality of men and women. His first named convert was a middle-aged woman named Elizabeth Hooton, whom he met in 1647 in Nottinghamshire and described in his journal as a very tender woman. Little did Fox or Hooton herself envision just how tough the tender woman would need to be to face the hostility and persecution showered on this Christian sect on both sides of the Atlantic. In 1650, Elizabeth was given the official gift of the ministry as a Quaker minister and began making visits to meetings of friends to encourage and exhort them. She wasn't as welcome in other Christian congregations, however, and found herself occupying a series of rude prisons for months at a time during the next 10 years for exhorting a congregation at Rotherham, for reproving a priest at Derby, for disturbing a congregation at Lincoln. In April 1660, the graying woman in her 60s, wearing the plain garb of the Quakers, was attacked on the road near Selston, Nottinghamshire, by the village ministers who abused her, beat her with many blows, knocked her down, and afterward put her in the water, even though no words had been exchanged. Missionary journeys. Adversity only seems to have strengthened this grandmother. Setting out for the New England in 1661 on a missionary journey, Elizabeth was not allowed to disembark in Boston because she was known as a Quaker. Undeterred, she got off a ship in Virginia and set out on foot to visit several friends in Boston's prison. But because of the new laws against Quakers, people refused to sell her food or give her a place to stay. Arrested for visiting the Quaker prisoners, Governor John Endicott demanded, "Why are you here?" "To do the will of him that sent me," she said simply, which didn't save her from landing behind prison bars as well. But that was not enough. A few days later, she was taken out of the prison, marched 2 days' journey into the wilderness, and left to fend for herself or starve. Somehow, the indomitable woman made her way to Rhode Island, where Roger Williams had provided a safe haven for the persecuted Quakers. But Elizabeth Hooton, like many other Quakers, was not content to preach to the converted. On a return trip to England, she obtained a license from King Charles II, which gave her permission to settle anywhere in New England. The Boston authorities ignored the licenses. This time, she was thrown in prison and given no food or water for 2 days, then taken out and publicly whipped in 3 different towns, and once again taken deep into the surrounding forest in the middle of the winter and left to die. Befriended by an unknown Good Samaritan, Elizabeth once again made it back to Rhode Island and eventually England, where she landed in prison once again for disturbing the congregation. She even disturbed King Charles II, asking for an audience so she could witness for God, whether he would hear or not. What kept this woman going in the face of such adversity? Nearing 70, she said, "The love I bear to the souls of men makes me willing to undergo whatsoever will be inflicted to me." Her love for the souls of men inspired her to join George Fox on another missionary journey, this time to the West Indies. On board ship, Elizabeth fell ill. She died shortly after the ship landed in Jamaica the first week of 1672, surrounded this time by friends. But it would not have, however, mattered how or when she died. To Elizabeth Hooton, Every trial had been an opportunity for witness. Voice of the hero. The Lord hath given me peace in my journey, and God hath so ordered that the taking away of my cattle hath been very serviceable. For by that mean have I had great privilege to speak to the faces of the great men. Elizabeth Hooton. Jesus said, on my account you will be brought before governors and kings as witnesses to them and to the Gentiles. Matthew 10 verse 18.
Reading from the complete book of Christian heroes, over 200 stories of courageous people who suffered for Jesus, compiled by Dave and Nita Jackson. This is the Eternal Church of Jesus Christ, the record.